Remember, no Russian. I'm just kidding. Good evening, everyone. I am Tortoiseshell, and welcome back to Rust. Today we are going to go on a Builder's Paradise. Excuse me. Abba.
What happened to SpongeBob?
I know, baby. Just give me a little bit. Papa's gonna stream real quick. We're gonna do. If you can hear in the background, my daughter's talking smack to me.
So silly.
We're going to be reviewing, in my opinion, the best base design for a solo in console Rust. So in PC Rust, you know, there's a a menagerie of base designs, but this is the best one that I've found that's perfect for room, that's perfect for, you know, all the stuff that you need. And it's not going to bring too much attention. I mean, it'll bring attention, but it shouldn't bring so much attention that, everybody's just like, hey, this base might have a bunch of stuff. Now, I will say that I wouldn't, like, baby, be careful. There we go. I wouldn't upgrade it to metal yet, but let's get into this. New news. Here soon I will be getting the PC up and running, so we'll be able to start playing Tarkov, even though everybody keeps saying that Tarkov is dead because of cheaters and things like that. But really, I'm still going to play it anyway. Just like Rust is full of cheaters on PC, Rust to a certain degree, I'm still going to play Rust regardless of whether there's cheaters or not. We'll try and go against the cheaters to a certain extent, try and fight against them, take their base, kind of like what a good citizen's supposed to do. Well, let's get up this hill, and we'll start, I'll start showing you what I'm talking about here. Okay, so what you're going to do is, and I can't suggest this heavily enough, that you're going to want triangles. No, put that down. Thank you. You're going to want to use triangles because it's cheaper and you're not going to have to upgrade a lot more of it as time goes on. What you're going to want to do, let's find a little good area here. Let's put that there. We need to find a good flat area. This one probably isn't going to be, there's a lot of hills around here, so this might not be exactly. You hear them talking to each other? The right place of what we're going to want. We're also going to go over where a little beginner's guide to the what cards, because for the longest time I haven't played Rust enough to know like exactly what cards are supposed to be used for what areas, but I'll touch a little bit on that later on in this. But you might hear my daughter get a little upset every now and again, maybe cry a little bit. She did just wake up from a nap about 5-10 minutes ago, so if you hear her crying, or I'll try and make sure to turn off the mic while it's happening. I don't really want to build next to a bunch of bases, so you're also going to want to, a lot of people say build near monuments because you can run monuments easier. I prefer to build near the river because you'll have pretty much, maybe not an unlimited food supply, but you have a pretty good. So we're going to head over there. Seems to be a better idea. There's a few players on here. The thing about Builder's Paradises is basically like having your own server, but you don't have to pay for it for a console. It's basically like where you can test out base designs, and it's usually where they update things first, except for if you have the test. I think it's the public branch or test branch. That's usually where they'll update things first before they bring it into console. But they have 3 places for consoles that they'll bring stuff in. They'll bring it to the test branch first to test it out to make sure the code works. Then they'll bring it to Builder's Paradise, and then they'll bring it to the main game. So for those wondering, like where new updates come from, you can also check Rust's Twitter. I do believe that they, I think it's Rust console Twitter. I think that's it's not exactly what it says, but it's basically where they update all the information and things like that for new things that they add into it. Also, sorry I have not posted for a while, as I have been busy with work and family things. But we're gonna get back into the normal routine. Streaming. I got busy with a bunch of work stuff and family stuff. So, but we're back to normal when it comes to streaming. But either way, I apologize to everyone. Once I get to an area where I can stop, make sure the mic is on. That is my nephew talking in the background. Okay, let's see. This looks like a good spot. I like this. It's in the snow. The snow is a really good place to build as well, considering the fact that you don't have to worry about a lot of nakeds coming and kind of causing you issues. So what you're gonna do is you're gonna just make a big triangle. You're gonna want, it's basically like making a little, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, a little hexagon, and then you're just gonna put, 3 triangles on the outside of it. So the middle, or the actual part of the base that is going to be the TC, you could put it like way off in the corner, you could put it in the middle, and the sides. It's not really, it's more subjective where you want to put it, but everybody has their own thing. It's also going to be a 2-story base, so just keep that in mind. That's your duck. You're going to want to have a inside piece like this. It's going to be like right here, so you have a little jump up to go to the 2nd story, like this. Usually what I would suggest is putting the TC on the 2nd floor, because that's what I normally do. I don't put it on the 1st floor because it's just a lot easier to deal with when it comes to raiders coming in. If for console rust it's better, for PC rust it may not work exactly for that in that way for you, but this is the easiest way that I've found dealing with that kind of nonsense, so to speak. In PC rust it might not work exactly that same way, because everybody has different ways of handling big bases to a certain degree, but in my opinion it's pretty solid for dealing with raiders and the like. So if I can get this, there's always some issue. There we go. Okay, so you're gonna make a 2nd story. Usually I like to make the door about like right here in the middle, so it's gonna be about like right there. And we're gonna jump down here and make a 2nd little triangle. This is gonna be where our jump up is, so that we can do this. I'm gonna put the TC down up here, probably where I would have it. I'd probably have it up here in the corner somewhere. We're gonna have this, probably get this as close to that wall. I don't like that. The great thing about this is on Builder's Paradise is you can, this is basically where you can test a lot of stuff. A lot of people don't use Builder's Paradise. Some people do. But a lot of clan, people that are in clans and things like that, they usually use this server quite a bit. So this will pretty much show you how much wood you're going to need to upkeep this area. Right now it's only at 175 because it's all, basically fleshed out. Let's start upgrading, and then we'll see how much wood it's actually going to cost to have upkeep for this. I don't exactly know how much. I've only built this once so far, but the one time I did, I'm pretty sure, crap, it got raided, I think, yesterday. So, but it had been on the server, or not this server, but it had been on a actual official server for about a week, and no one touched it. I didn't play Rust for over, I don't know, like, I made it on Monday, and then Tuesday I checked it, Wednesday I checked it. I didn't play a lot of Rust recently, other than making that base, because I was like, I should probably play it so I don't like get rusty. Haha, little dad joke there. But it frustrates me when I do that. Anyway, but it had been on there for pretty much all week and hadn't been touched at all. There was no, I kept the upkeep, excuse me, and for the most part, there wasn't any issues as far as I saw, and nobody really noticed it. Another thing to focus on when you want to build this base is make sure that you build it in the woods. And that base, by the way, I want to emphasize, was it was only wood the entire week. So you know, you don't have to do it this way, but it's the way that I feel probably. You know, it gives you the most space, and you know, if you for a solo, you don't really need any more space than this. You may want more space, and if you do, this one probably isn't for you, but for those that are just like, I want enough space where I don't feel like all, you know, confined, you know, to like what I call the crap shacks is, you know, where it's like 3 across, and you know, put walls up, and then you put a door with a little airlock. You can start it off like that. You can start it off where, you know, this is pretty much how it's built, and then you can have your you know, your TC somewhere like in this back corner. But myself personally, I prefer to start it off that way. You know, start a little crap shack, because you don't need a lot until you start getting a lot of resources and things like that, and then that's when you can, you know, kind of make it your own. After you want to get everything fleshed out first, and everything, you know, kind of built like this before you start, you know, making the second story. But you know, if you're doing the second story and you're trying to you want to expand to a second floor, so to speak, you start off like this. You make this the airlock. You know, you jump up here, and then the door is like right here that leads outside, and what would normally be down here is about like, you know, somewhere in this region. So once you get, okay, don't do that. Now that this is all fleshed out, and it should be, you need about 749, so that's not too bad. You know, it's about a stack. You can get like 2 stacks of wood really easily. You also, I got off subject, my ADHD kicked in. You're going to want to make sure that you build this in like a wooded area, so probably somewhere over there, or probably somewhere over there. Probably not that, because it's a little too more exposed. You want it to build it in like heavy forested area, so that it's not as like, you know, right in front of, you know, God and everybody. But some people would say not to put the TC up there, because if they, you know, jump in these doors, they blow in, the TC's right there. But what I like to do is I will, you know, put like this up here, excuse me, seal this up whenever, you know, I get to the point where I can upgrade to this right here, and then I'll, you know, put that on there. And then, you know, once you get everything fully upgraded, I would heavily suggest not upgrading it, but, you know, of course you're going to have to at some point, or it will be rated. But it lasted for a solid week, you know. But if you're somebody that plays Rust 24/7, a base like this is going to be, you know, of course you'll upgrade it to stone, and then, you know, things like that. But for the moment, it, you know, for the time being, you know, so you can go get loot, so you can go do PvP, it works for the time being. So in that light, I'm only going to put a metal door on it. It's still susceptible, excuse me, to the same kind of, you know, qualms that anyone else would have of it. I wouldn't suggest having the door open like that, because that's not a good idea. But have it open like this, so, you know, as you come out, you know, you can just jump in and then, you know, shut the door as you can, which is normal. This is also a really good design if you want to make a trap base. You can open this wall down here, where, you know, right above would be the jump up. You can put a door frame like this, and then put a, well, not that. You can put a door right here where they have to come in. I don't know why this is not put. Let me put that there. Oh, because I destroyed the, yeah. So, of course, upgrade these. I would suggest upgrading these to, you know, stone. Having this the only thing that's stone on it for the moment, because that way, you know, if you're running from them and you're trying to, you know, jump in, you won't have to necessarily worry about them shooting that down, like with bullets. Like, you know, any normal, like, experienced Rust player would shoot this immediately, so you can't jump up there. But another thing is that if you make this a trap base, or you make two, you know, one door on top, one door on bottom, this makes it a little easier to, you know, like if you're running in, you're getting, you know, say you're out here, there's a bunch of trees or something like that, and you're getting trees, and you got to run back in because somebody's coming out. You can just run in here and shut the door, and to be perfectly honest, you know, if you feel that you're in that much of danger, if you have like a box down here that has the wood in it, or you're about to start upgrading, you can just build you know, like a little twig wall there, to block that off for the moment, so that you don't have to, like, if they come into the bottom and they're just like, oh, we're gonna raid this area, it gives you a kind of insurance, so to speak, a little. I'm talking too fast. It gives you a kind of insurance, so that if they start raiding through this bottom door, then you have time to put a wall up there, so that even if they get through this door, they're not getting through, you know, this. And if, assuming that they don't have any booms, it gives you a chance to, you know, in the PC version, you would be able to destroy this wall even if it was completely down, I think. I'm not entirely sure how it works, but I don't know how long you can have this to where it lets you demolish it. They may have changed it recently with the console, but like I said, I haven't played a lot of Rust. I'm not intimately familiar with everything, but for when it comes to I'm sorry, when it comes to Rust, when it comes to a solo casual player, not one that plays like all the time, it works perfectly for the purposes that you need it at the moment. So it's not exactly like perfect, but you know, it does the job. What you could do, instead of having the jump up there, if you wanted to put the TC like down here in the back, you could have a ladder. You could just put a ladder here. You don't have to, you know, do the little jump up like everybody does, which I don't understand why I don't see people doing that, where they, you know, they'll like, you know, if you have ladders, you can just do this, and then, you know, you can go up, you can use this little area for something else, like a TC or something like that. You know, do it like this, and you know, you could just have this like the second story, and then, or you could do this and put a wall right here. I'll turn that around, and then have a door that leads to the ladder that goes up. Which, yeah, it kind of gets rid of some of the room that you have here, but in a certain sense, if I was raiding this place and I saw that there was, you know, temporarily you could put a wall here to block the TC, so, you know, they'll keep them guessing. If they make it through the door and they're thinking like, you know, where's this guy's TC, because they made it in, and they're going to try and get, you know, break the TC so they can get your base. If you don't want to leave that there, you can move the TC down here, which anybody that plays Rust extensively will know, you know, that you can't destroy TC like that, but which is why I like Builder's Paradise servers, because, you know, this gives me a chance to, like, if I screw up the placement. This isn't going to be perfect, guys, and I'm sorry for those that are OCD. This is not going to be exactly the way I want it. But you could do this as soon as, you know, if they... this is assuming they haven't made it in, but they're breaking into your base and they haven't found anything yet, or they haven't seen anything yet. You can just upgrade this wall. Now, you know, if you're breaking in here, you don't know where the TC is. At any point, you can just, if you have plenty of spears or tools or resources, you can just kind of break into this, or, you know, break that wall down, and then, you know, get your TC, stock it up where it's like good for like a couple of days, or, you know, like 7 days of upkeep or something like that. Especially when you're solo, you can just farm a crap ton of wood, fill the TC up with the wood and things like that. Now, granted, you won't be able to fill it up with like all the important other stuff, like, you know, that you're trying to keep safe, like the metal frags and things like that. But the great thing about having a second story is that if you don't want to put that door up there, and you don't want this to be where everybody comes in, you can just get rid of this door, seal this off, have have people come through the bottom door, you know, have this right here. I'll leave that there. Have this right here where, you know, it's just a two-door like that, and then when they come in, you know, they'll come up here and just go like, they'll think, oh, the TC's up here. Let me get rid of this as well. There's many ways that I like the base design like this, that what I would call the Illuminati triangle. There's a lot of, first of all, you know, making a geometry joke for the math nerds on YouTube. There's a lot of great things about, you know, triangle is the strongest shape in geometry. I'm sure that's probably wrong, but I've heard that joke before. You you know, you put the TC down here, you block it up. If I was a raider coming in here and, like, you know, me and my friends had burst through here and, you know, we're like, oh, this door's open. Oh, the, you know, upstairs is open, and they're going through here and they're just like, where's the TC at? Now, granted, you know, if one can put, you know, 2 and 2 together and go, like, it's probably behind this wall. Before they get in, you could just upgrade, you know, this wall, or instead of doing that, you could upgrade these 2 walls. That needs to change if you're going to do that. If you're going to have this instead of a jump up, you could just make this a normal wall. Or you could just, I mean, the great thing about having triangle, you know, floors like this is you could just seal off this side completely. You can come downstairs if you know somebody's, you know, raiding in, and just upgrade that wall, and boom, they can't come in. They're going to have to raid through an entire new wall, which would be rather expensive to do. You know, if they only have like incinerate bullets, explosive bullets to get through, and they don't have enough to get through a wall or upgrade a wall or something like that, then it'd be more difficult. Which is another reason why I like the TC to being upstairs. Probably upstairs, like behind a wall or something like that. I wouldn't want it downstairs, though some people like it downstairs. I prefer to put mine like upstairs in like a corner. You know, it kind of gives, you know, you still have like 2 quote unquote squares to have stuff to put. So it just, in my mind, even though it probably doesn't, it gives me more room to. It gives so much more room for activities. But I prefer. We're gonna have to wait on that again. I just prefer, you know, to have the TC upstairs. It makes it a little. I mean, it probably doesn't make it any more secure, but in my mind, it you know, I like it better. It makes it a little more secure. You know, I can do this and then seal this off, and then boom. You know, once I get that, you know, filled up with farm and stuff like that. And, you know, I probably wouldn't keep my farm in there, which is bad, you know, because then people could go into your boxes and get your farm and things like that, which is, you know, not good. But at the same time, I would much rather somebody steal all the, you know, excuse me, all the metal frags and stuff like that I have, than, you know, get to my TC and destroy my base. So it's just something. It's more of a preference. You know, you can put your TC wherever you want. I'm not telling you how to build your base, but if I was going to build one, I would probably build it like I'm doing. I'll show you how I would build it, and then you can, you know, make your choice of how you would do it. This first area would probably be just boxes. For the moment, I'm going to add. Where are they at? I need something to give me some light here. Where are the lanterns? There it is. So I'm going to put this here temporarily, just so, because I think nighttime is coming, so I'm going to want to be able to see what I'm doing. But I'll show you what I would probably do, just out of, you know, what's easier to do in my mind, instead of having to, you know, it's a lot easier to use ladders anyway, because you don't have to do the kind of stupid jump up. You can just kind of whoop, and then you're upstairs, instead of, like, you know, crouching and having to jump down. You can just, you know, in my mind, it's just a little faster. But I would have, so in my preference, I would do this. I would build it like this. Well, let's put some doors down. I'm gonna need, let's give me 6, should be good. Which requires a lot of metal frags, so let's just do a bunch of locks. Also, another pro tip, so to speak, I'm not a pro, but what I've heard is a really good thing to do, is always lock your boxes, even if you think, like, oh, I don't have anything in there that anybody's, you know, if they break it, they're just gonna break it with spears. It's still better to you know, have boxes locked, because it just gives you that extra, you know, few minutes that you probably need to make sure that it's, you know, a little secure. As of course, you know, just like any knowledgeable Rust player, you're gonna want to have the door facing towards the other door, so you know, it makes it more difficult for them to jump in. You know, if you have both these doors open, you know, they can't just run past, so that makes it a little easier. I would also put another door here, just because it's always good to have an extra layer of security. This is also, I would only do this after everything's fleshed out, after everything is built the way that I would want it. I would have it where, you know, this is pretty much how I would build. I should have turned these freaking lanterns on before I. There we go. So, how long does that have? Is that just 5 minutes? 49 minutes. Oh, that's plenty of time. Let me go upstairs and turn the other ones on. That's in the middle here. Alright, so this first part I would probably have either 1 or 2 boxes. Of course, imagine that lantern's not there, and the first one would go here. You know, and they would go like how the floor is built is how I would set them up. So let's just do, just for craps and giggles, I'll set them up like this, and the other one would be, you know, like right there, so you can still get in the door. And oops, I mean, you still kind of have to crouch, but actually I don't have to crouch to get on these, so that works. This is kind of a little janky. You'd have like maybe a little, let's do a little boogie right here. We'll have this right there, and we'll put, you know, that there. Over here you can have like another little tiny box. Give me a second, guys. I gotta readjust the wire here. Whoop, sorry, Bubba. I would, okay. I'd probably have a fire right there, because I'd want it right on the inside, because, you know, you have your fire set up, and then, you know, you can sit here, you know, warm up, and so on and so forth. I'd probably have another tiny little box right here. If I put that down. Thank you, ma'am. I'd probably have it more like this. You know, if I'm gonna build it so I can. What the heck? What the heck? All right, well, that's the thing. Hang on a minute. Let me see if I can. Let's give it a bonk, shall we? I said, "Be gone with you, you little parasite." All right, so I would probably see if I could squeeze it as close to that. They're in their room. I don't know what they're doing. I'd probably try and squeeze another box in here if I can, maybe. Is it going to be nice to me? No, I'm not going to be. Oh, actually. Look at that. That's beautiful. You can fit a little box there and fit another thing. I probably wouldn't have.
No, ma'am.
What's she doing?
She was grabbing the whole camera. What do you mean?
Ah, well, I can't see.
Just see a hand reach and grab it. Lady girl, do not touch that camera. I was moving it.
Sorry, the daughter's messing with the camera we have in her room. Oh, come on, let me put it there. Yeah, there we go. So I'd probably have it built like this, and so as you come in from, you know, wherever, you know, the PvP and stuff, you can just run in, deposit it, and run back out. Because in my mind, that's just a little faster. It is a little difficult to get through here, or to kind of run through here, but if somebody breaks in, they'll probably go for that loot first, which again gives me more time to, you know, get everything, you know, set back up, so to speak. I'm just going to use, you know, actually, if I can build it, I'll show you. Because, you know, once you get to the fully upgraded part, you're going to want to have everything in a certain area. I always like to put my stuff against the wall, because it's just, I don't know, it's just how my brain functions. So we're going to pick this up. Glitching a little bit because I have it set up where it's a wired controller, you know, where you plug it into the USB port on the PS4 and that kind of thing. My PS4 is doing the, what's the guy's name from the Green Mile, where he's like I'm tired, boss. That's how my PS4 is. It has no top to it, and it's just it's barely holding on by threads. But anyway, put this here, light the lantern. That's inside the terrain, which that's a little funky. But I would have that there. I have the repair bench. I'm not a big fan of repair benches. You know, I'd prefer just to use it until it breaks, and then I'll just make another one. But if you don't have the resources, of course, the repair bench is always good. And like, again, like any, I don't want to say professional, but like any professional gamer, you're going to have your a box under there. I think you can fit another one under here, like a big box, but I don't know about that. I've heard, but I don't know if that's true or not. So we'll see, out of curiosity. No, I don't think you can. I think you might be able to put little boxes there. I've heard of people putting boxes under. Yeah, you can. Okay, so you can fit 2 small boxes under there, I do believe. You can probably fit 3, but I'm not going to do that. So that's even more space that you can fit in there, you know, for different things. I would probably put like resources in there to repair stuff. Let's see. Need the other. I like to use drop boxes. So whenever, you know, trying to hang on. Open the door. Thank you. It's a lot easier to put drop boxes on here. Rotate that. So that way, you know, when you're, say you're like, somebody's outside and you're like running around your base, you can just open this and deposit, you know, something that you need in there really quickly. Say it like a gun and you don't want to lose it. And then boom, you know, you can just grab it whenever you respawn. And you didn't lose, you know, so much. You know, it's just little stuff like that just makes it a little easier to kind of get everything moving around. If you want to put a mixing table in there, I'm not going to because I never use the mixing table. But if you want to put like a repair bench, you know, you can put this in here. I would suggest putting it like not right on the drop box, but if you can kind of squeeze it like in between areas. So you're going to want it like somewhere, if it'll let me, like right here, because then, you know, you still have this little area to, I wouldn't put something like that in there, but you can fit another long box underneath the research table, so that's even more space that you have there. It's a little difficult to kind of get to that back area, but the thing is that it's always a good idea to have what you need right in front so you don't have to worry about it. So that's downstairs. Upstairs, you know, you would have I would have like let's see, where is this? You know, I'd have like probably have. See, that's the thing. Sometimes I always put it like right here, so if I respawn, I can just drop down and go down there and get it really quickly. But for the purpose of this video, I will put it where. Well, no, I said I would build it first how I would normally do it. So I'd have my, you know, this here, so that way when I respawn, I could just drop sideways, drop through, and then boom. You know, it's instead of having to do a whole crouch animation and doing that, you can just, you know, you'll respawn and then just boop. Boop, boop, and you're already at like all the stuff that you need to rebuild like a gun or something like that, or maybe you left something in the drop box and you respawn and you go down there to get it, because once you drop something in the drop box and you put it in, they can't grab it. So that's another thing. Up here I wouldn't build too much other than probably another door. It wouldn't be right there, but I would have a wall here because I did, you know, this is only an area to respawn, not an area for anything that I have that would be like super important. So, you know, you respawn here, have this open, and then just drop down. I would probably have a second loot room up here. You don't need a lot of like a super amount of space, but for a solo, you know, this is a mansion pretty much, in my opinion. You know, you don't want anything like super big, but you want something that's going to be secure, that you know you're not going to have to worry about. So I would have this as a second loot room, and then of course this also could be a quote-unquote like a little panic area, you know, in case somebody starts raiding in. You could leave a few guns in there. I also would suggest heavily as putting like a stash outside by like a bed, which some people think is not a good idea. I've known a few people that have played with on Rust before that, you know, that I've also asked questions about in the community. That's also, they say like, yeah, it's like a 50-50. It's a good idea, but it's not a good idea. Is to get a stash and a bed. You don't want it like right next to the door, because you want to be able to respawn. And you know, if they're like still shooting in through the door, you want it a good distance away, where, you know, if you respawn, you have a good position where you can shoot them from, where they're not like, they don't have a direct line of sight. You want something that's kind of at a distance, and you want to put in. Another great thing about having your you know, this at this distance is there's no bag timer for it. So you don't have to, like, if you just spawned in your bed and they kill you in your bed, then you want it outside of that spawn area so that you don't have to worry about them getting to you at this specific area. So you know, spawn it a little further away so that you can kind of like have a little, you could spawn, and then, you know, when you stand up you crouch, and then, you know, have a little bit of cover, so to speak. You're going to want to rotate the stash that you have, put it at the end. It just seems like the easiest thing to do. Then, you know, you'd have, like, I would probably put something that you can kill from a distance. Or if you spawn and you're like, oh, I don't want them to see me, just, you know, just spawn, grab the gun, take off running, get to like a high area, like somewhere like right here, because you can kind of hide behind this wall. I'd probably put the bag like right here. Like, actually, I'll do that just for the video's sake. This is you know, this is a base idea. I'm just gonna hide this one, as I can't pick that back up. But this is also showing how I would set it up. It's just easier to do this way, to show you exactly how I would do it. You don't have to do it my way, but it's a good, smart way to play the game, so that you don't have to deal with a bunch of nonsense later on. What I would do is I would have it like at the head, so that way when I spawn I could just turn around and, you know, crouch, and you're blocked. So what you would have in here is, we'll just say for craps and giggles, say you prefer the bolt action. What happened? Oh yeah, you might. I unplugged it earlier, but I unplugged it so that they.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Welcome. Definitely don't need to play. She was letting me know he was playing with something he wasn't supposed to. You go play, Mom. It's got you on camera. It's okay.
For now, I'm going to say the bolt action. Maybe your preferred is the assault rifle. You probably hear my daughter get upset here in a minute.
You hear Joe? Look. She was right there.
So, you know, you'd have this, maybe a silencer. Let's put this on here. Alright, and then we'll say, just for crap, have a few things of high velocity in the, and then you'll have the, you know, you have a good way to, you know, hit from a distance, where you don't have to, you know, necessarily worry about dealing with, you know, you have the movement advantage and things like that. Put that in there, hide it, and then when if somebody starts raiding you, you know, you can wake up, get that gun out, and then, you know, it might take a second for you to have to get this out of here, and you know, this might be a pain in the butt just a little bit, but and then you get this out, and then so on and so forth, and you go right to just going to town on, you know, because they're going to come out, and, you know, so and so. You know what I'm talking about. So, getting back to the task at hand, let's, like I said, just for poops and giggles, we'll put that in there, hide that, and then, you know, it's just better. And I know some people, they're like, no, you want your bag closed because you want to be able to get in there quickly. But the thing is that you always want to assess the situation when it comes to, you always want to make sure that you have the best position to engage the enemy at. You know, it's the same thing they would teach you in the military. Not that I've been in the military before, but from the people that I've met that have been in the military that have played video games, it's always good to have the best strategic position to engage the enemy instead of, which is maybe common sense to some people, but to other people that may not like heavily invest in strategy and things like that, it's always a good thing to know that you have cover, that you have, you know, if, like, say they shoot you from that where you're sitting at on that spot, then you can, you know, kind of defend yourself. So this would be a second loot room, or quote-unquote panic room, that you could heavily reinforce. What I would suggest if you're going to do that is, you know, upgrade this area like super, super heavy, because then they'll think, oh, the TC's right here. You know, reinforce this to metal, and then, you know, this can be your quote-unquote like little last final area. Maybe put a shotgun trap up here. Maybe put a little shotgun trap pointed at the door on this side, so that way when you open the door, you know, you can sit behind this door, wait for them to come in, or, you know, they'll have to bait that shotgun trap or shoot it to be able to get to you. It also makes it a little easier because when they get in here, if they go to shoot you, say they have, I don't know, we'll just say, you know, a pump action. You know, when they come in here, they'll have to bait that shotgun trap first, and you can sit around this door and wait until you see their, you know, their arms come in, because they might just run straight in and try and shoot you. And unless they're a hacker or like really, 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 really good at aiming, they're, you know, they're not going to be able to just, or they might be able to do that, but, you know, it's like a 50-50. So it's just, I don't know, it's just better in my mind to build it like that. I mean, from the outside, it's kind of looks a little sus, but at the same time, it's, in my opinion, the best way to kind of like, because as a solo, you're on your own. You want the best, what's the word I'm looking for? You want the best advantage you can give yourself. So if I was a clan member and I was kind of like walking around this area and looking at this, I would say like, oh, this is kind of a weird base. That's upgraded to, oh, that's probably where the TC is. But you know, where the TC might be actually right here, they might think it's up there. So they'll, you know, go up there and raid through those walls right there, and, you know, get in there and then realize, oh, the TC, well, I mean, for me it'd suck because that's how I would normally build it. But if you don't want to build it that way, put the TC, you know, back against, you know, because the TC is on the other side of this wall, so, you know, it just might be a little easier for you to do. So, let's go up here. So, you know, once they get to this point, you know, you could also, another great thing about having this area, you could put a little tiny little, I think I can fit a little tiny box right here. And, yeah. And then when you respawn, you don't have to put the bag exactly right here, because it's probably not, you know, it might screw it up and just be like, no, you can't put your bed here. Like this. But you're going to want, another great thing is, ooh, you can put your bed here, get your gun, and just stand right here and wait for them to come up here, because they're not going to be, I don't think you can go, well, you can kind of go backwards up this, but you can't shoot while you're going up until you get to the top. So they're not going to be able to get up here and then turn and look at you before you can sit there and just, you know, as they're trying to come up there. So in my opinion, it just gives you an even better advantage, because after you spawn, you grab a shotgun and just sit here and wait for them to come up that. Or if they're going through the walls and you know that, you know, you notice they're going through the walls, just come in here and just,
Are you being mean? Don't be mean.
you know, it just gives you the best advantage for, you know, whatever you're trying to do. So after that, you know, you just got a lot of room. You can put the sorry, my nephew is upset. I think my daughter is being rude to her cousin. You can put the furnaces up here.
Hey, I'm getting you some more milk. You want some nuggets?
And then
Nuggets?
after that, you know, it just seems like, in my opinion, that's just the way that I would set everything up. I'm going to show you also where I would put shotgun traps, because it's the best way to do it. This is also something that I build, that I'm going to start building every single time that I make a base. It's just always going to be that. I might build something else, you know, randomly, but I'll always, you know, put a shotgun trap there. You can still get back here to this one. So whenever they, you know, they come running in. I probably wouldn't put it exactly right there. Probably put it a little closer to the door. Probably somewhere like right here. Probably facing towards the door. So when they, you know, they come in, the shotgun trap gets them, and it still gives you enough room to get over here into the corner and, you know, get through your door and shut the door and, you know, just things like that. I would also put one probably about, I would say probably at the end of the room, probably about like right here, because then when they run in here, that shotgun trap starts shooting them. And it's kind of hard to see if you're not like, I mean, you can see it, but it might be difficult to see if, you know, it's complete, if it's like dark, if it's at night. And I think it's not night anymore, so I'm going to turn these off.
Come on, guys.
Because I don't need these until it's nighttime. At nighttime, it might be a little harder to see, unless you have like furnaces going. Then it might be a little easier for them to see what you're doing, or see the shotgun trap. But at night, you're not going to be able to see that, because that's going to be hidden in the darkness. So the last spot that I would put a shotgun trap probably is right up here above this ladder. Which, as soon as they destroy, you know, that ladder, if they destroy it by, you know, or the shotgun trap destroys it, then it gives you another advantage, because then, unless they have ladders, which they probably do, but if they don't, then it gives you another, just one more advantage for being able to. That's not what I was doing. That's what I was doing. Sorry, got a little. Okay, I'd probably put one pointing downwards towards the door, so when they walk in and they go to try and climb up, another shotgun trap shoots down at them. I don't know if that shotgun trap would shoot, you know, you as you're standing there, because that kind of gives you kind of like a bad advantage. But if, you know, you're already standing here and it's looking down, that gives you just one more advantage to someone trying to come up that, as well as having your shotgun. This is just, you know, things that you could do with this base design. You don't have to do it this way, but the best way to do it, in my opinion, shotgun traps are going to be your best friend as a solo. You know, some people say, you know, shotgun traps, some people say turrets, but with the introduction into consoles with electricity, a lot of people aren't going to know how to use it yet, and some people may already know, but for the people that don't know what it is, or that are, you know, say you just bought it and you're just like, I don't know what I'm doing, the Rust community can be a little unforgiving when it comes to you know, new players to a certain extent. There are people like me that like to, you know, show people, you know, pretty much what to do, or to share the knowledge that they've learned over the years of trying to figure out how to do things. But like I said, shotgun traps are going to be your best friend. So I'd also put one right here in the corner. That way, once they get up here, say they kill you right here, and they think, oh, the TC's in here, which you can also put the TC up in here. They start blowing in through this door if they're not paying attention, because they've just shot. So they get up here, they might see that shotgun trap here and just kind of sit here for a second. They might shoot that shotgun trap, but if they don't, and they don't see it, and they're more focused on you, and they kill you, and they kind of back up against this, they might back straight into this, you know, looking at you spawning in that corner, you know, standing with your standing there with your shotgun pointing down at them. Like I said, once they walk in there, if the shotgun trap destroys that ladder, and if they haven't brought ladders, that's, like I said, another great advantage, because then they can't get up here. So they'll have to either build, or, you know, because there's no second wall there. There's no, like, two half walls. So, yeah, there's no two half walls down there, so it just makes it even more easier. And that's another reason why I don't like having my TC. I don't like having all my resources in my TC, because I like being able to, like, if I had wood in there, I can grab wood, craft this while they're still breaking into that, and then put a wall here and upgrade it, and then they can't go any further, which is kind of a rat move. But as a solo, you're going to be a rat. I'm sorry, you're going to have to embrace the rat ways. It's just the easiest way to survive. So, like I said, I'd put the furnaces over here. It's just, shotgun traps everywhere are just your best friend, in the same vein that having a crap ton of gunpowder when you're making explosives is. It's your lifeblood. It just makes it that much easier. So that's my opinion on when it comes to base building. I hope you guys enjoyed, and you know, always check back. Check my Twitter. My Twitter should be in my information on my YouTube channel. I always update or post videos or update what I'm doing. Also, maybe check out my Instagram channel. But Thank you guys so much for watching. Don't forget to hit that like button and hit the notification so you can know when I'm posting new videos. And free to subscribe if you'd like. You don't have to, but it helps the channel out. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'm Tortoiseshell, and I hope to see you in the next one. This is Tortoiseshell signing off.